Alright, welcome to today's vlog on See You Around. I've been wanting to do this particular video for a while now. It's almost more of a public service announcement than anything else. I've been hearing a lot of stories on the news the last little bit about hot cars and what can occur in a hot car. I've got 3 little girls and I've got a dog, all of which could be affected by getting left in a hot car. So I'm actually here in a parking lot. It's a sunny day outside. The sun's been hitting my car for about 5 hours, 4 hours, something like that already. And I intentionally parked it right in the sun to see how hot it would get. Now I just checked the temperature outside with my handheld thermometer and it said about 98. My car, you can see here, is saying about 100. That is the outside temperature. So I've got a thermometer here, and we are going to periodically check it and see what temperature it is looking like inside the car. It's already over 110 degrees, and we're going to see the effects it also has on me. So I'm going to actually take my temperature right now and see what my own core body temperature is. I'm going to talk about the different effects that I'm feeling from this. Oh, that can't be right. It says 108. Never actually used this before. Well, I don't know how accurate that is, but it says that my temperature right now is 100.3. So we'll check it again after I've been in here. Now, this is something I definitely recommend that no one try at home. It is more of a warning to those that have young kids. I am 5'9", about 200 pounds, and so the effects that I'm going to be feeling from this are going to be far lessened than what, say, a 2 or 3 or 4-year-old would, or what a small animal might be feeling. So keep that in mind. I have taken every necessary precaution. I've got some water. I have got some other things available on hand as well, including a hot, wet towel. And so I've got them in my cooler here. They're going to be taking my precautions. I'm also going to take my pulse here in just a minute, and I'm going to try that thermometer again. And I also have people that know where I'm at and what I'm doing, so they're expecting me back inside at a certain time. And if I'm not, they're going to come out and make sure I'm okay. So let me try this temperature again and see what it comes up with. Alright, so I just tried taking my temperature again. Didn't work out so well. It still says 107, which I know that isn't the case, otherwise I'd be dead. And I think what's happening is because I'm in the hot car, it's already taking the temperature of the car and reading that before it has a chance to get the temperature under my tongue. So I'm going to forego that. What I am going to do is I'm going to take my pulse right now and see if that changes. So we're going to give it a few seconds here. So 23 and 15 seconds, if you do the math, it's about 92. Already, I don't know if we'll be able to see this, but I'll try. You can see some perspiration forming on my arms. I have been out here for about 3 minutes is all. Maybe 5 minutes, either way not too long, and I'm already starting to sweat, and I am not naturally a big sweater, so that's going to tell you something already. Let's take a look at the thermometer that we've got here. If you can see that, it's kind of hard to focus in on it. There we go. That is maxed out. This temperature only goes to 120, so I know it is over 120 degrees in this car right now. And it's in the 90s outside, so we're already going 30 degrees Fahrenheit or so more than what the outside temperature is. Now, I saw a similar video to this a few days ago, and the individual was testing the effects of a hot car on an animal, and he kept the windows open a crack. And so that would be an interesting experiment to do as well, because I was on my way home from work the other day and had the windows all the way down, and I actually had this thermometer in there, and it was still registering about 15 degrees more than what the outside temperature was, and that was with the windows all the way down. So you can already see the dangers. Even if you have your windows a crack, leaving someone inside a hot car for too long can present. So obviously the point of this whole thing and why I'm putting myself through this is to make sure that we don't leave our kids and our animals in a hot car. I live in Utah. It gets cold in the wintertime. Sometimes it can be, negative temperatures. And usually it's somewhere around 20 to 30 degrees in the daytime. Now, if it's sunny out, it can still get hot in the car. When I get off work on a cold winter day, if the sun is out and there's no cloud cover or snow or anything like that, it's warm enough in the car that I don't have to turn the heater on when I get in. So that should be a word of warning to enough people about what will be going on there. So I'm gonna sit around for a few minutes more. We're gonna check my sweat again. Obviously my temperature is not gonna work because the thermometer just can't handle how hot it is in the car, and it's not registering my internal temperature well enough. I hope I'm not 107 degrees right now, because I don't think I'd be talking to you if I'm even alive whatsoever, and I'm probably not alive. This thermometer is not going any higher, so I can't get an accurate reading of the temperature. But we'll take my pulse again. I'll talk about how I'm feeling. Maybe we'll be able to see more sweat forming on me here in just a minute. So quick update, guys. I have this little folder wallet thing for my phone here, and this little button was sitting right in the sun while I was recording that last clip. Something interesting happened. Obviously it was hot to the touch. I couldn't touch it without burning myself. And something interesting happened. So I've been in here about probably 20 minutes. You can see the sweat is literally dripping off my arm. You can see my pants there. There's a wet mark from where the sweat is dripping off. I just took my my pulse, and it said 117 after 20 minutes in here. Interesting development. I was trying to tell you about how my phone case that is holding my phone that I'm recording this in got so hot that I couldn't touch it. Well, while I was filming that, for the second time, my phone shut off because it had a high temperature warning. I hope I got a screenshot of that and I can show you what that looked like. The thermometer, I ended up putting both in the cooler because they were getting overheated. It actually went beyond that 120 and was all the way to the max of that tube. I'm going to turn this video around and see if you can see the sweat dripping off my face. So as you can probably see, I'm super red in the face. I'm getting red. I have the first stages of heat exhaustion. I'm finding it very hard to breathe, so I'm actually going to call this real quick now. I don't know how well you can see it, but I now have sweat dripping off my face, which I told you before, I am not a big sweater. So for safety's sake, I'm going to get myself a drink and I'm going to call this good. Keep in mind, I am a full-grown man, 5'9", 200 pounds. It's affecting me this bad I can hardly breathe and my pulse is racing right now. Imagine what this can do to a child. Don't leave your children or your pets alone in a hot car, even if the windows are down a crack. The only way to do it is to keep the car on. And if you have to run in somewhere, you know how dangerous it is to leave a car running with a child inside. So don't do that either. Just be safe and take your kids with you. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. You can even see the sweat on my armrest here. So you can hear it's hard for me to talk. Things are getting labored. I need to get inside where it's safe. So like and subscribe. I hope this was some good advice for some of you out there. I need to get in before I'm safe. Don't try this at home. This is so that you don't have to. Keep your kids and yourself and your pets out of a hot car. Even in the wintertime, even with the windows down, it can be super hot. So I'm gonna sign off from here. We'll see you around. Like and subscribe. As you can see, this is after the thermometer's been in the cooler for 5 minutes, so it's still way up there. One other thing that I want to mention, I'm starting to get shaky as well. My speech is slurring. I'm dripping in sweat. Pulse is up. I imagine my core temperature's up. As we saw, that's a fail. And the most interesting thing about this experiment, my phone quit on me. Man, never has 98 degrees outside felt so good. A little bit of breeze just from walking. I'm actually starting to get cold now.